So we're recording.
Yes, we are. You
Um,
moved, damn it. The
we
continuity
have
is
to.
gone. It's gonna look so
Okay.
shit.
We're gonna try doing this backwards. That's what she said. Madhav is this high.
Kya?
I'm saying it backwards.
Is this high?
Hi, this is Madhav Ko.
Oh, Hanchal,
Come, keep up, bro. Keep up.
you know what? This is too much of a higher level shit for dumb fucks like us. Like we've already seen even higher level shit, so let's not.
Oh man. So yeah, we are going to talk about that high level shit today.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, this is Rahul, by the way. He never got to say his name.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah. So hi guys, I am Rahul. I have Madhav with me here. So yeah,
So yeah, so by this point, welcome to Screens on whatever, fuck it. So by this point, it's I hope it's pretty established that we are doing these at 3 a.m.
yes.
But the 3 a.m. thing is more of a in spirit of 3 a.m. because we're both like half asleep, but we still want to kind of talk about it because we don't want to sleep.
Hmm.
But yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And what better things to talk about when you're half asleep than fucking Tenet? Because we're
Yes.
smart.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're just gonna not review, just sort of discuss what the movie is, what we felt about it. अच्छा ये movie है, खत्म कर देते हैं episode इधर.
या मूवी इज प्रिटी डिसेंट चलेगा ठीक ठाक है आईमैक्स में देख लो
We yeah, notice how I told you my opinion now in the beginning where we're supposed like get it.
यस God damn. So the Blu-ray
Okay.
version is amazing, guys. We should do a trailer review also later on, don't we?
Oh yeah, we'll do the trailer after the movie.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we're let's just get into it. What
Yeah.
are your thoughts on the movie?
Yeah. So let's just lay out some groundwork here because there's still a lot of people who haven't seen the movie.
Spoiler alert, heavy
Yeah.
spoiler alert.
Okay, let's do
Fuck,
one
10
thing.
minute पे 10 sorry 10 minute पे बोलना चाहिए था so that we get 10 minutes of watch time and then people start leaving, so then YouTube algorithm is like yeah,
वो
sorry,
नहीं होता
continue.
है if people click out 20 seconds into it फिर कुछ काम नहीं आता है वो सब. So okay, no, we'll do one thing. We're gonna talk about the movie for like 10 minutes or something. No spoilers, we'll just give normal thoughts and all, then we'll get into the
Okay, cool.
spoilers. Take it.
Cool.
So let's just lay the groundwork. So for people who are still living under a rock, and it's a big rock because the rock is named 2020, Tenet, let's just how do you even set up the premise of the movie? So Tenet follows a person, John David Washington, the main protagonist of the movie. Tenet follows this guy as he is recruited by a secret organization to prevent World War III. And I'm saying prevent World War III in air quotes because I mean that's just how the trailer poses it. It's basically a James Bond movie, but with crazy shit like what Christopher Nolan loves to do with his movies. So
Which is kind of
that's
cool because
which is
wasn't
cool.
he in talks to direct the 25th Bond?
Yeah, I think so. But then he was like,
Lol.
this is too simple. But
Yeah,
I
it's
got
like I don't want to work with Daniel Craig. I don't want it to be part of the franchise, but I still want to make a James Bond movie, so I'll just make something that'll completely mindfuck you.
yeah. So it's basically a James Bond movie with some weirdo shit going on. And now here's how so after watching the movie, it just released in India on December 4th and maybe a few other countries as well because US and China and certain other countries got it earlier as far as I believe. And it did relatively well, look, seeing as we're in this pandemic era. But since so I watched the movie, I came out of the theater, I gave some quick thoughts on Twitter, and basically what I came out with was that Tenet takes most of the it feels like it takes almost every big concept that Nolan has played with in his previous movies and uses them all at once to some varying degrees. So like it's not like he's using dream sequences or anything. like from Inception, but there are certain things from that movie that he's using here. There are certain things from, say, Memento that he's using here. There are certain things from throughout his filmography that he has applied here. So if you thought something like Interstellar was very confusing and like you need a science degree to understand what's happening there, then I feel very sorry for you going into Tenet, because Tenet dwarfs every other Nolan movie in terms of complexity. In terms of sheer
That's
complexity, it dwarfs
true.
all of
That
them.
is completely, because there at least it's like, so those uh, all his other movies have been very balanced in terms of concept and character. This
Hmm.
one was very much concept over character.
Yes.
From both aspects, there was high level concepts, and there was some lack of character also. We will get into that in detail, but no spoilers given. um yeah, so it is very high concept, extremely high concept by far, and that's saying something because this is Nolan.
Yes.
Nolan's most conceptual movie is a feat.
Yeah, like that's like he's breaking his own record. Like, you know what? Let's make a movie that even I won't understand,
Which is
possibly.
good. Yeah, because no, I'm sure he understands. I'm willing to bet nobody else working on the movie
Yeah,
understands.
yeah.
To like Robert Pattinson, like you're gonna do interviews with John David Washington and Robert Pattinson, and then when the interview gets over, to side में लेकर तेरे को भी समझ में नहीं आया ना, सच्ची बोल, तेरे को भी नहीं आया. But yeah, okay, let's continuing no spoiler review for a while. Excellent acting, amazingly shot. Holy shit! Like, dude,
Yes.
it's like Nolan was meant to be married not to Emma Thomas but to IMAX, because they
Yes.
are like, it's made for each other. Every other movie shot in IMAX is like really cool. Infinity War, Endgame, whatever, they're really cool, but only Nolan is able to like give you visual spectacle. He's able
Yeah.
to push IMAX to its limits, and yeah, it's throughout the movie, even when the ratios change and all, which has become a motif for him at this point.
Hmm.
um it, it never feels jarring because each shot is so beautiful.
Yeah. And they
um
transitioned really well from the standard to the IMAX sequences this time. It's like, it's like, yeah, if you remember watching The Dark Knight or Dark Knight
Compared to
Rises,
what? Huh.
like Udhar, there were scenes where the ratio would switch between a sequence, like between a scene. This time it's not really like that. This time it's more
Yeah, this
designed
time
around
it's more
sequences. Like a
yeah,
sequence
sequences, and
will,
even when it does change in a scene, it's more like the establishing shot is sort of taken in the IMAX ratio,
yeah.
and then they cut back to normal 2.31 or 2.35, whatever, in
Hmm,
when they start speaking or whatever.
yeah.
इधर भी मतलब mid sequence किया है, but it's more because there are so many sequences being intercut with one another. So yeah, I basically saw the movie again today. um so it is very fresh in my memory, and
Yeah.
yeah, they do, there is some intercutting may ratio changes or whatever. um but yeah, the biggest, like, do you know Dan Murrell,
Hmm. Yeah. I watched this review.
who used to be in yeah,
Yeah,
he
Screen
said the
Junkies.
biggest star of this movie is Nolan, and he's
Yes.
right,
Yes.
because this is like, okay, Dark Knight amazing, Inception amazing, Prestige amazing, but this is the most, I don't, controversial statement, but this feels like the most Nolan movie ever.
Yeah. Actually, yes. Because, like, as I said, he takes a lot from his almost every major thing from his previous movies and mashes them together. So, like,
Yeah,
everything from just the way the plot is structured, the whatever science concepts he has come up, like whatever way he's playing with science, uh, uh all of those feel like, yep, it's coming from one guy, one visionary.
yeah, exactly. And one visionary, and this feels like a concept that only Nolan could have done.
Yeah.
There have been time travel movies, there have been high concept movies. This is the only one that could be done by Nolan.
Yes. And in classic Nolan fashion, obviously he whatever he does has a basis in science. It's very similar to Interstellar in that sense. It has a
Hmm.
basis in science, but the fiction part, right, of science fiction, whatever it does with the fiction part, obviously you can't really logically like point at
Yeah,
it.
because the fiction part comes from, because he uses all science that is theoretical. Like
Theoretical,
even
yes.
the wormholes and the time dilation thing
Yeah,
was all theoretical at the time when
yeah,
Interstellar had come out, and he was like, "But what if real?"
yeah,
And he just made a movie around it.
yeah. And
So yeah,
I'll note another thing on that front, that he takes concepts which we know fundamentally true on a microscopic level, right? So time dilation, uh, like the concept of time travel and stuff like that, I'm taking from Interstellar, not from this movie as such right now.
yeah,
But those concepts we know that they have a very uh, very true basis in science. But what he does is he takes those concepts and looks at it in a macroscopic way. I guess that's the word. Like he applies it to actual people, to actual objects, to a life size situation. Like
yeah. He really keeps asking the question, "What if?" Every
yeah,
time
yeah,
he
yeah,
comes across a theoretical concept or
yeah.
something like that. But enough about the concept. We will delve into that later.
Hmm.
All for non-spoiler need to know is, high concept movie. You have to follow along, and you must rewatch. Not just for visual spectacle or whatever. You will have to rewatch, because no way anyone's fully 100% understanding this movie in one go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
um Coming to the other technical aspects, okay, Hans Zimmer wasn't working on this movie this time.
yeah.
That was
And I
interesting.
forgot about it when
But
watching it, and I like interval hua, and I 100% thought, oh, Zimmer ne acha score kiya hai. And then
exactly,
later,
because it feels very
it
much like Zimmer, and it turns
yes,
out it's Ludwig van Goranson,
yeah,
who is also amazing. He is the next Zimmer. Him and Michael Giacchino are like the next Zimmer
yes,
and John Williams. They It feels very Zimmer more, I think, because it's Nolan.
yeah.
And it is, I think it's Goranson's most mechanical score, sort of, and we'll get more
Hmm.
into why I think it is such.
Hmm.
But score is amazing. Sound obviously amazing, except the dialogue. It feels like recent Nolan has been making sound mixes where the dialogue is buried under uh, the rest of the layers.
Yeah.
Maybe he just likes that feel or something, but I didn't mind. It is still, once you get used to it, you don't really notice it.
But you
It's
had
only
subtitles.
just
We had
Yeah, I
subtitles
had
in India
subtitles.
screenings. And here's
Yeah,
the thing,
both
right?
the times I've seen it, I had subtitles on.
Yeah. So, and it's not just like it's a little more complex than what than what normal general audiences kind of complain about. That yes, it is loud. It is very like dialogue doesn't get the most priority, especially in much more intense sequences. Let's just say that.
Yeah, yeah.
And also it's a very fast paced movie, so dialogue in general, like you have to really really like listen to it. You can't just lay back and just get whatever's being said.
Yeah,
So there's
and
that
yeah,
part also.
because it is a high concept movie, I thought maybe he should dial that back a bit,
Yeah,
but it wasn't the biggest hindrance.
yeah, not to me, like
Other than that,
I've grown
okay,
accustomed to it.
yeah, yeah. Uh, Special mention Kenneth Branagh, man.
Yeah,
Amazing, so like
there were
amazing.
I was really surprised that okay, going into it I knew that okay, John David Washington, he is the lead, Robert Pattinson second lead, so
He's
it's
the protagonist.
we'll get into that. Yeah, yeah, so you know what,
Yeah, he doesn't even have a name.
he doesn't
He's
even have a
literally, he's
name.
credited as the protagonist
Yeah,
in the movie.
which is just like another crazy thing. Like Nolan is like, you know what? Let's just go all the way crazy into it. And so yeah, going into it, I thought it was him and Robert Pattinson, and those two were going to be like a I don't know, like a buddy cop movie. Not a buddy cop, but like that kind of a dynamic. That it's just like these two are the leads, and we're following them, right? Uh,
Yeah,
but I was really surprised first by Dimple Kapadia's role and and the importance she got in the movie. Like it's
Yeah, I legit thought it was gonna be Anil Kapoor Mission Impossible all over again.
yeah, like you just
They'll keep her in
see,
2 3 scenes, but she has a pretty pivotal role.
yeah, she's got a very important role in it. She's in it for a good chunk of screen time.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other primary couple of actors, right? So Elizabeth Debicki and Kenneth Branagh. So these two, like, it's mainly these five characters who are the main who you'll be seeing more, who you'll be seeing the
Yes.
most. Kenneth Branagh was a very big surprise to me. Very big, like, not in the sense that I didn't know he was in the movie, but just like, ek to,
That's the
like,
thing. I didn't. I didn't know he was in the movie.
I didn't know. Like,
And
here's the thing. Okay, here's the funny thing. When I was watching the movie, I completely forgot it was Kenneth Branagh. Take it.
mm,
Because Kenneth Branagh, when you
mm.
say that, the first thing that comes to my mind is Gilderoy Lockhart. That's the
Same.
first thing. Take it.
Same.
So even though I've seen him in the what's the
Murder on the
Murder on
Orient
Orient
Express.
Express. I've seen him in a couple of
Dunkirk.
other, yeah, Dunkirk. He was in Dunkirk, but even then I could not recognize him. So it
Same.
was,
It took me a second to place him, not just because of the appearance, but the performance itself.
yes.
When I think Kenneth Branagh, I don't think menacing. I think, okay, kind of goofy guy because Lockhart, but then can be serious also. This was menacing. He was a
Yeah.
fucking like monster basically.
Also, like,
Um,
it felt like he changed his voice completely, just the way he talks.
voice, the accent, it
Yeah.
really cool, really cool performance. John David Washington was also awesome
He was just
because
oozing
he's
suave. He was just oozing
suave,
coolness.
charm. The one-liners were killer.
Yes.
I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago.
If you
Amazing.
see,
The one-liners was so cool. Um, Also Robert Pattinson's presence is very nice. He starts off as a sorry, he's good.
yeah, he's good. He's good.
I was about to give spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll just say that, like, when he came on screen, I thought, okay, fine, he's just a supporting character. But later on, he does come into his own, and
Yeah, he does.
like, he does have his own presence that is not, like, that's not always supporting John David Washington, but he's standing on his own. Let's just say
He
that.
has its own presence. All even Elizabeth Debicki. I thought she
Yeah.
was also going to be like a sidey character.
Mhm.
She turned out to be the biggest emotional core in the movie,
Yes, exactly. I
which is
say,
super cool because everything in this movie, or every fucking element, it just builds.
Hmm.
And while the first maybe 30 to 40 minutes, you will not feel like you will know what is happening, but you won't know exactly why.
Yeah.
And as the movie progresses, it becomes you understand more and more and more and more, and it ends so satisfyingly.
And, like, this is the fun part, right? Because, like, Nolan loves exposition. So in, like, all of his movies, in almost most of his movies, there will be a dedicated sequence towards the first half where they just sit you down and explain to you what the gimmick of the movie is, essentially, right? uh, so there is a sequence like that, like, you've seen that in the trailers, but, like, I won't, like, we'll talk more in the spoilers, but they explain to you the core concept ki, theek hai, anything that's coming in the later half or throughout the whole movie is based on this core concept. And I understood that concept just fine, completely fine. I've done 12th science, I understood it. But
Yeah.
CBSE, thank you. That's the one thing I'll say, thank you. Thank you, H.C. Verma. But when you see those concepts being applied to a to life-sized or human-sized objects slash characters slash, like, whatever, that's when it starts to fuck with your head. That, okay, I understand the concept, but ek to, like, you're doing some like, when you're in the middle of a chase sequence and he's applying concepts like those
Exactly,
happening.
that humanized element, it
Yeah.
sort of opens your mind up to what can happen, what are the implications of this,
Yeah.
and that's what starts to fuck with your head,
Yes. So I
which is
think
super cool. Nolan genius hai yaar.
we'll keep. I think we'll
This sentence is gonna, yeah, we're gonna keep coming
we're
back
gonna
to the
keep
fact
coming
that
back.
Nolan is a genius. uh yeah, so all the
Anything in the
acting
non-spoiler?
amazing, the Um, Not really.
Hmm. See,
Um, because it is so high concept, you can't talk much without spoilers about this.
yeah. So
Um,
let's not then. Okay.
so
So
yeah,
ultimately, we both recommend it highly. Watch it, and first of all, primarily, please, please, please watch it in a theater, like the biggest
oh
screen possible.
my god,
Like,
this
obviously, we'll recommend
very like
IMAX, but
yeah,
even if you can't, like, even if there's just an afternoon show in a normal, like, normal INOX or something like that, just go and watch it in a
please
theater,
watch it.
please.
Has to be watched on the biggest screen
Hmm.
with the loudest speakers possible.
Yeah.
And please get a middle seat. Please don't be one of those fuckers who's like साइड का सीट लेंगे या आगे का सीट लेंगे कि थोड़ा चीप होगा. Please get a middle seat,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so that's pretty much it for non spoilers. If you're watching and you haven't seen the movie, please, yeah, just watch it in a theater. We're gonna get into spoilers now, so
Wait.
proceed at
So,
your own risk. Okay, so
yeah,
going
yeah.
into spoilers, it was all John David Washington. He was throughout the movie. Oh my god, it was all him. Okay, this
Predestination
episode is gonna be
much?
like oh my god, yeah.
So,
And I want to compare this to Predestination later. Okay,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So let's do this thing. Okay. So let's go through the main plot of the movie. Will kind of a recap, right? For us and as well as the audience. And then
Hmm,
we'll start breaking it down. And this is going to be fucking long, but we'll try to keep it efficient. We won't just make it long for the sake of being long. Take care.
that's
So,
what she said.
mm. So, is she a. I don't know what profession she is in.
She may be in a hurry. I don't know.
Is she real?
What do you think?
Very ambiguous, just like Tenet. So the movie starts off with our protagonist called the protagonist participating in undercover operation at a opera house opera house. He's part of CIA, I think, right?
Yeah.
At the start, yeah. So he is part of a covert CIA team, and at the start of the movie, they are essentially
They
impersonating.
basically sent to get they are impersonating some Russian forces or Ukrainian forces,
Yeah, yeah,
and they are sent in to get this object.
yeah.
Um, in which John David Washington, I'm just gonna call him protagonist. Protagonist
Uh-huh.
sees a or experiences a weird thing where a bullet goes backwards.
Yeah.
A bullet sort of unfires,
Yes.
and that is the first obviously setup for the concept. The mission goes south. He gets captured. The person they're trying to save or whatever who's been compromised, they get captured. And when the protagonist takes one of those suicide pills or whatever, and when he
Hmm.
wakes up he finds out that the suicide pill is a test
Yeah.
for
That
your loyalty.
he has been
uh,
he's been basically rigorously tested by a secret organization, which we later, like, we come to find out that organization itself is called Tenet, but at the start
yeah,
they don't really tell him we are called Tenet. So at the start of the
yeah,
movie,
this is not
Tenet,
Venom.
yeah, at the start of the movie, Tenet is just a phrase that that he's given, which will help him which sets him on his path. Let's just say
Which
that.
to quote the movie, it will unlock some doors and unlock some bad paths also, something
Yeah.
like that.
So the next scene is the exposition scene where he arrives.
The next entire fucking like 30 minutes is exposition sequence,
Oh yeah,
where
kind of. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is this exposition scene for the concept. So basically we're told that from the future there is technology which has been invented, which can, again, to quote the movie, because the movie just says it best. To quote the movie, it says that it can reverse an object's entropy,
Hmm.
where basically an object can travel backwards in time.
Yeah.
Not This is not exactly time travel. I mean, I guess it is time travel, but it's not conventional time travel like we have seen.
Yes.
Usually in like Back to the Future or something, you sit in a car, go 88 miles an hour, boom, you're like 50 years in the past. Here, if you have to go 50 years in the past, it will take you 50 years to go in the past, because
Yes.
you are just moving backwards at time at the same speed that time is moving forward.
Yeah.
So basically, this concept has been applied to weapons, obviously been weaponized because human nature, amaze. And now John David Washington, the protagonist,
Protagonist.
has to fucking, but his name is also so catchy and so nice to say. Um, so the protagonist now has to find out who's using this technology, who's sourcing it, and has to stop it. Obviously, he has just been told that this will basically be World War III
Yes.
at this point in the movie. Later we find out whatever. So through a series of research and finding out things, he comes across Robert Pattinson, he comes across Dimple
Wait, wait.
Kapadia,
I'll
who's
set it up.
sourcing.
I'll set it up
Okay, yeah,
more concisely. So, uh, he's told, he's told that uh, certain people in the future who have invented this technology are sending these objects into the past and are sending it to Kenneth Branagh's character called Andre Sator. So they're so the people in the future are sending these objects back in time to the past to Sator, and Sator is acting as sort of a middleman between the present and the people in the future. And they believe that Sator has his own goals, and somehow, like they believe that some of these objects are being built for whatever device or whatever higher power they are being used for. It might be that Sator has its own goals, and ultimately, dunya bachao. ठीक है, that's the goal.
yeah,
now,
yeah,
now, so the next whatever the next sequence of the movie is essentially John David Washington, the protagonist. We're gonna say the whole thing. John David Washington, the protagonist, having to track down Sator. Right.
yeah.
So he enlists the help of Robert Pattinson's character, who he enlists the help of Robert
Who sort
Pattinson's
of,
character
who sort of lets on that he knows
more than
more
he.
than what the protagonist needs him for. We'll
Yes.
just say that for now.
Yes.
So he finds out that the way to get to Sator is through his wife,
Hmm.
who apparently Sator has been blackmailing to be with him.
Yeah.
Again, setting up his character really, really well. So protagonist gets in contact with the wife, tries to convince her to introduce him to Sator. Wife says, "You do so and so thing for me." In this case, the so and so thing is, there is a complex situation involving a painting. Just go watch the movie. We're not going to get too much into it because it's very complex. Even that, but the like every plot point in this movie is complex.
Yes. It's like the
Nolan
science.
Nolan is just like, you want simple, fuck you. So basically he has to get a sort of painting for her from this vault, and the only way to get into the vault is to obviously break in through it by crashing a plane
As you do, as you
into the
normally
hangar,
do.
as you do, of course, not dramatic at all. So usme, while breaking in, uh they come across the turnstile. The turnstile is now, of course, at this point, protagonist doesn't know that that's a turnstile,
Hmm.
but we later in the movie find out that that is the machine which you go through to invert yourself.
To invert an
Invert is basically
object or
moving through
person's entropy. So, okay,
entropy.
so
Yeah,
let's start breaking it down slowly for the people who still might be confused. So, let's just define what entropy is, right? Entropy is the property of any object, any particle in the universe, which compels it to move into to move from a low disorder state to a high disorder state. That's what the property of entropy. That's what entropy is, right? So you see a egg broken, like you see a egg cracking down, right? So it's going from a stable state to an unstable state. You see milk, and if you keep milk outside for too long, milk sours, right? So that's
yeah,
going from a stable state to unstable state. That is what entropy is. And the logic that they are applying in this movie is that, and it has a basis in science, that since entropy inherently needs occurs in a specific direction of time, which is present to future. So if you
right,
reverse a object's entropy, the logic applied here is that you reverse that object's internal, let's say internal clock, or let's say time. And time is, you have to look at time as a physical dimension in this case. You can't just think of it as a feeling,
Call back to
because
Interstellar.
Interstellar, yeah. So that's the thing, right? Ki in this case, you will see a sour milk turn into normal milk. You will see a broken egg turn back into a reformed egg.
You
But
will see
then,
the bullet unfire.
yeah, you'll see a shattered window repair itself when the while the bullet comes out of it back into the gun. So these are the concepts that the movie plays with. And if you apply the same to a person, then, well, you'll just see that person working in reverse from your perspective. From your perspective, you feel like they're walking backwards, they're doing their actions backwards.
And
So
from their perspective, it is also the same. They are moving
yes,
forward, you are moving backwards for them.
yes. So okay, now that that's
Now that that is out of the way,
explained, yeah.
during the break-in, they come across a turnstile, which
Hmm.
is the machine which reverses the object's entropy, and they see a man come out of it, and protagonist has to fight this guy.
Yes,
Um, when they sort of have him at gunpoint, Robert Pattinson comes because he's also being chased by some guy who came out of the turnstile.
yeah. Two guys come out of the
We should
turnstile
make it,
together.
yeah, we should make it clear. There's a sort of chamber which has two sides, and there's
Hmm.
a turnstile on both sides, and two guys come out at the same time.
Yes,
Protagonist fights one, Pattinson chases the other. Pattinson chases the guy, chases him down, removes his helmet, and then lets him go.
yeah,
And then he comes to protagonist who has the other guy at gunpoint and says, "Don't shoot him," or whatever, give some fuck all reason. Um, and the guy escapes
yes,
essentially.
yes.
um उसके बाद क्या होता है याद नहीं आ रहा. Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
shit.
Sorry. Huh. Then he goes and meets Dimple Kapadia, and he's like, "Bro, what the fuck? ये क्या हो रहा है?"
Huh.
And Dimple Kapadia says that the two men who escaped, they were the same person. One was normal, one was inverted.
Yes.
Uh, then it through another series of expository scenes, blah 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 blah, all formality, honestly. Uh, we get introduced to Sator.
Yes.
Sator is a fucking monster. He's so chilling and so menacing. He exudes evil. You look at him and you're like, you suck as a human being. I just want to kill you. Um so basically, protagonist has used Sator's wife to get close to him, and now he wants to find out Sator's plan and all this. Um so through again another series of investigations, discussions, blah blah blah, they he finds out that Sator is the sort of mediator between the past, between the future and the present, and he's sourcing all these inverted weapons.
He says, and Sator explains in one sequence his backstory that he's been sent all his riches, right? Like all the money and power he has acquired in his life, all of that is a
Hmm.
result of the riches that have been sent to him from the future. Like
From the future.
physically riches, like gold bars and shit like that. So
Yeah.
that has conditioned him to know that, okay, I have a purpose. There are reasons why future people are sending this shit to me, and they want me to be in a certain position in life at a certain point. And obviously, like, there's a lot of metaphysical things, there's a lot of things that the characters inherently know or feel, but it's not told to the audience, which we'll come back to later. Take it. Like,
Yeah.
there are certain things that the character knows and feels ki I should do this or I will be doing this, but we are not told that because we are not that character. So we'll get back to that later. But he feels like he has a mission in life, which is to uh we'll get to it in any case, right? When we get to the
We will
sequence.
get to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sator then a protagonist basically sorry, Sator finds out that protagonist is not who he says he is, obviously.
Hmm.
uh and he says ki, okay, I will let you go, or protagonist is like, let your wife go or something, because he feels for her or whatever.
Mhm.
um you let your wife go and I'll steal the plutonium for you. Sator wants plutonium, which in that point, in the movie is referred to as plutonium. It turns out to be not plutonium.
Hmm.
So and then we get to the highway chase,
Yes.
the highway heist and the chase. One of the coolest sequences in the whole fucking movie. Oh my god! And that heist. Okay, I want to talk about the heist. That is such a Nolan heist because
Yes.
they have to sort of steal this plutonium or whatever from a moving truck, but they can't have the truck stop,
Hmm.
because if the truck stops, the authorities or whatever will get to know and they'll get to the area and back up or whatever. So they come up with the best plan ever, which is have four big vehicles, 18 wheelers, a fire truck, a bus, and two like other trucks or whatever. Have them corner this vehicle from all four sides and have it still be moving. Jam the
Yes.
communications, okay, contrivance or whatever filmmaker hai, will give it to him. I think Nolan, of all people, has earned the benefit of doubt at this point.
Yeah,
So,
it's a very Nolan sequence. Everything from the dialogue that you can't hear to the music which you can hear to to a practical in camera sequence on a real
oh
road with
man,
real trucks and real cars with real car flipping and shit like that, and a contrived very contrived slash complicated story setup and payoff for that entire sequence. It is very Nolan. It is exactly what I would
very
expect
very
from a
Nolan.
Nolan's action
So,
sequence.
protagonist has to go into the truck, get the plutonium, get the case of plutonium, and this turns into a highway chase
Hmm.
because there is a car moving in reverse, which is sort of parallel with protagonist's car.
Hmm.
The window comes down, and we see it is Sator holding his wife at gunpoint. Basically, they have been inverted.
Yeah, we'll get to that
Um,
later. So at this
we we
point,
we will get to that later.
at this
So at
point,
this point,
let's just say
yeah,
that the car is inverted. ठीक है. We don't necessarily like we intuitively know, but we don't like factually plot point wise know that these are inverted people or whatever. ठीक है. So
hmm,
Sater pulls up alongside the protagonist and Robert Pattinson's trajectory. He has Elizabeth Debicki, who is playing the wife, at his gunpoint, and he asks for the case with the plutonium to hand it over or I'll shoot her. Now, here's the fun part. Uh, so the protagonist is debating amongst himself and Robert Pattinson that, okay, should I give it to him? Should I not? It's this very confusing moment. And then he sees,
because sorry, because it turns out to be not plutonium,
yes, yes.
and he doesn't know what it is, but Robert Pattinson kind of does.
Yeah, it turns
Sort
out
of.
to be the same, basically the same kind of object that they found at the start of the movie when they were doing the
Yeah,
Kiev opera
that
siege.
they were after in the opera siege. Yeah.
Yeah. So like John David Washington, the protagonist, I'm gonna say the whole fucking name. Think like now starts to doubt. Okay, now this is something of importance, even though I understand what the fuck it is. It's not
Hmm.
plutonium, but so it clearly doesn't possess the same danger, but it does possess some kind of a danger that this guy has gone through so much to obtain, right? So now, as he's about to hand it over, he sees another car, which has been like the wow moment in the trailers, right? He sees another car which unflips on the road.
Unflips.
It unflips and then starts traveling parallelly with him and Sator's car, and that car is also reversed. ठीक है. We don't see who's driving it or whatever. We just see a reversed car which has suddenly unflipped and driving alongside them. And uh, it looks like not looks like he hands over the case to Sator. ठीक है. He throws it over the car and it reaches Sator, and Sator escapes, leaving Elizabeth Debicki in the car which is going in reverse and inevitably will crash into something or whatever, right?
Hmm.
So this is where a lot of things get complicated, but let's just follow the chronological sequence of the movie. Take care. We'll
Yeah.
get back to this later because this is a very, very, very key moment. Like in my second rewatch, this is the moment I was like the most focused on. Take care. This
Same.
entire sequence start to end. So now forget Sator. Sator has fucked off. Forget the middle car which had unflipped because we don't see it now. What's his name? John David Washington, the protagonist. and Robert Pattinson are trying to figure out, okay, how do we rescue what's her name? Elizabeth's
Cat.
character, Cat. How do we save Cat? Right. And they somehow manage to save her. Like they do a trick that you've seen a million times. One guy jumps from one car to another, and that essentially they save her. And at the end of that sequence, Sator's men come in and capture the protagonist. Okay, they capture the protagonist and they seemingly capture Cat also. And Robert Pattinson is left in the car. So they capture them. They both go their own ways, and then we see Robert Pattinson engulfed in a shootout with Sator's men on the highway. Now we enter the perspective of John David Washington, the protagonist, as he is brought into a room, which is looking very much like, which is looking kind of like the room that we saw earlier in the vault sequence, in the airport sequence, right? He is brought into that room, and at the start of this entire sequence, we had seen Sator bringing his wife into that room, and Sator telling his men to lock him in another part of the room. Let's just say that. And he told his men, "Ki tell me whatever happens outside during the chase. Take care." And then we had switched back into the chase, and then like we see the reverse car and all that shit happens. Now, John David Washington, the protagonist, has been captured. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna commit to it. He has been captured. He is brought into that room. He's strapped on, and we see on the other side of the room, on the other side of the glass, we see a reversed Sator coming in with Cat. Take care. Coming in with Cat. He sits down Cat, and he's basically interrogating John David Washington, the protagonist. Like where did you hide the object? Take care. Like the plutonium. Let's just call it that at this point. Where did you hide the plutonium? And John David Washington,
sort of interrogative, and obviously he has the wife at gunpoint, so John David Washington is like under
and it's
pressure,
all
obviously.
reversed, right?
And,
so he's talking in reverse, and the voice
so
is
Sator is talking in reverse. Sator has been inverted at this point. And he's on the other side of the chamber talking in reverse, interrogating him ki kidhar hai BMW mein ki fire truck mein ya whatever. And the real Sator, the forward moving Sator, comes into John David Washington, the protagonist's side of the room.
Yes.
Interrogates him a little, and protagonist is like, I just told you.
Yeah.
And then he sees he must go into the turnstile and he must get inversed and he must.
So from the forward, from forward Sator's perspective.
Sorry, we forgot to mention one thing. Reverse Sator shoots the wife.
Yeah. Reverse shoots the wife.
Yeah. Reverse
unshoots the wife. So at this point, we basically think that okay, Cat is dead, right? Or not dead, but like shot and very like injured and all.
Dying.
Yeah. It's just a flesh wound. So forward Sator has come in and is asking John David Washington, the protagonist, that like, where did you keep the plutonium? Where did you stash it? Like, which car did you throw it in and whatever? And the protagonist's perspective, he just told the reverse Sator whatever happened, right? So he's like, bro, I just told you, kya bol raha hai? Kya bak raha hai? So
that's when Sator understands he must go into the turnstile, because he sees the reverse Sator walking backwards into the machine. Now they get now Sator goes in inverses that whole conversation happen again, which is, by the way, extremely well written, because it makes sense from both directions.
Yes,
it just makes sense from both fucking directions.
It makes sense because, like, we'll just get this out of the way, like, which is what I love about the writing in this, like, for the characters in this movie. Here's the fallacy, right? Ki, like, this movie is at this point we know this movie is dealing with time travel in a certain sense. Take a time travel, free will, all that shit. So at that point, if you are seeing, like, if you know what is about to happen, right? Because of this whole highway sequence, we know what is about to happen in a certain way. ठीक है, even John David Washington, he knows what is about to happen. On paper, you can say, why not just do things differently? Right. Why
Yeah,
not, like, when you revert yourself, why not do things differently? But here's the good part. On both sides of the argument, like whenever you're forward character or when you've reverted yourself, your motivations align in such a way that you won't be doing anything different,
exactly. Um, where
either
basically, yeah,
consciously
because
or
that is, yeah,
unconsciously.
because you're right. That is the main argument. Ki, why not just do things differently? That's why time travel was invented, so you can go back and fix your mistakes.
Hmm.
But on both sides, you're just like, things line up in your past and your future in a sense also.
Hmm.
Ki you, yeah, what Robert Pattinson says is what happens happened,
Yeah. And
and
I
that is so
love
like
I
prevalent.
I love how the exposition sequence at the start, no, when the scientist is telling the protagonist about the bullet and all. Kya hua?
Yeah, yeah, and the scientist is like, don't try to understand it.
Just
That is
feel it.
such a Nolan thing, saying to the audience, listen, मैंने बनाया अच्छा, enjoy करो, घर जाओ.
Exactly. But there's a lot of key information, not just the entropy thing. So there is a great sequence which you understand the importance much later, like after you watch the movie twice or something.
Hmm.
Where since at the now we're talking about the earlier sequence, the exposition sequence, right?
Yeah.
When the scientist
Haha,
explains.
we just went backwards in the story.
So the scientist was explaining to the protagonist the concept of reverse entropy through this bullet,
Yeah.
which she had received somehow, and they were studying these objects, right? So you've seen it in the trailers, right? When he's shooting this wall, but the bullets are unfiring from the
The
wall.
bullets are unfiring, and he's like the scientist says, he's catching the bullets, not
Yes.
firing them technically.
Now here, this key moment comes in just after that, when she puts down two bullets. One of them is forward, one of them is normal, the other one is reversed, right, inverted. And she says ki, put your hand over the bullet. Okay, so fine, he puts his hand over the bullet and nothing happens. And then she says, you have to have dropped the bullet. So it's a intuition thing, it's a instinctive thing, right? So you act in a certain manner, in a reverse way, as if you had dropped it, and the bullet will come back into your hand from the ground, right?
Yeah,
And they
and
do this very
they,
well, that the scientist records the thing, like she
yeah,
videotapes
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and she shows it ki, from the bullet's perspective, you dropped it, but from your perspective you caught it, right? And when the
You got it.
protagonist
And
asks,
either way, you made it happen.
yeah, when the
That's where
protagonist
the
asks
instant part
the question
kicks in.
ki, but what about free will? And she said, yes, it kind of exists in the sense that if you didn't put your hand over it, it wouldn't happen. But you did
Correct.
make it happen. Right. So it's a small isolated event, but that's the thing. Like, you have to take this isolated concept and apply it to the whole movie in general.
Yeah, let me, before you continue, listen, if I'm speaking to the audience now, if you're the type of person who nitpicks and looks for plot holes in everything,
Yeah, please
just
don't.
die. Please
Just
die. No,
just die.
don't just don't do that. Die. You are a waste of existence. Go home. Go watch Cinema Sins. Don't watch us.
Oh God,
Continue.
seriously. Serious like
Fucking,
this?
I'm waiting for Cinema Sins video on this. क्या comments में मैं बकने वाला है? I don't even care. Yes.
You
Continue.
can't.
So yeah, I know. So yeah, coming back to this now, Elizabeth Debicki has been shot, and John David Washington, the protagonist, doesn't want her to die.
Hmm.
So he's like, let's take her to the turnstile, and we will reverse the effects of the radiation.
Yeah, of the bullet radiation. Yeah.
And now the question becomes कि ठीक है तुम reverse तो हो जाओगे, how will you come back to normal? And they say कि Oslo में the art vault में they will there was a turnstile and we will use that to come back to normal. So they go through it, and now this I felt was when the movie finally got to what it wanted to get to,
Yes.
which is when the fuck will our protagonist be inverted?
Hmm.
because you can't have this. And knowing Nolan also now, he's not going to introduce a concept and then have it happen to everyone else except the protagonist, and
Yes.
he just has to sort of navigate through it. Usko hone wala hai, and I knew it, and I was like, finally, thank you. So what's more interesting about this is he, when, and this is what I like about that exposition scene when the scientist was saying, she didn't say time will be reversed. She
Hmm.
said an object's entropy will be reversed, which means when you run the wind again, this is I'm borrowing Sida quote from the movie. When you run, the wind will blow backwards. You need an oxygen mask because inverted lungs में हवा जाएगी नहीं.
Hmm.
When if you're near fire, you will freeze because the
Yes.
temperature will be the temperature's entropy will also be reversed. That is where I thought, oh my god, this guy is too good. He's not just playing with the notion of time, he's chosen this aspect of time because he's fucking obsessed with time,
Yes.
but it applies to everything. And this comes back later because of Sator's final motivations, sort of.
And we'll kind of
um
speed through this thing because we need to discuss the movie in general. Like, so let's start speeding through this. So
yeah,
now at this
so
point we have crossed the mid part of the movie, and now we're going back in reverse, chronologically speaking. ठीक है.
hmm.
Or I mean, at this point, chronology, it depends on which perspective you think about.
Yeah.
In a
So
in a
from our the people we have been following till now's perspective,
hmm,
they are going back in time because they have been inversed. So now we realize, now a protagonist wants to obviously save Elizabeth Debicki, and he chases after Sator. He wants to go after the case firstly,
hmm.
so that he knows where Sator is going to take it, and he wants to save Cat.
And he had put
That's
a transponder inside the case so he knows where the case is to find at first. ठीक है. We're not
exactly.
shown this thing earlier, but we know when they're turning through the thing and they're talking, like he's talking with Robert Pattinson and he's like, did you put the tracker? And he's like, yeah, I did. So now you know, okay, fine. They know
So
where the case should be.
yeah. Also, we should mention he lied about where the
Huh.
plutonium was to inverse Sator.
Yeah.
So now he gets into a car and he gets to the highway and he sees that the case has come back into the car, and he realizes ki, okay, now I have to chase them. So he goes in between both the cars which are running parallelly. Like I said in the beginning of the spoiler review, it was all him.
Yes.
And it turns out that forward protagonist threw the plutonium into the
Through the
inverse
case.
protagonist car.
Yeah, he threw
Yeah,
the
through the
case to
no.
Sator and then he
He
threw the
threw the case
object
to Sator
into.
and he threw the plutonium into the inverse protagonist's car. Of course, forward protagonist didn't know that this is inverse protagonist.
Hmm.
So now it
And
just gets to a waiting point. Sorry. And then the car flips.
hmm.
And we know that वो ही था. That's the
वो ही
big like
था.
eureka moment. It was him all
It's
along.
the Leonardo
So
DiCaprio from fucking वो अभी ये क्या Once Upon a Time in Hollywood वाला सीक्वेंस है. It's that.
yeah. So okay. So the car flips, and like I said, because he's Sator sets him on fire. Basically, he leaves him to be set on fire, but he freezes, and there is an explosion, but he gets hypothermia.
Hmm.
This movie is
Amazing shit.
amazing.
It unexplodes.
So now it gets, yeah. So at this point, of course, it's been revealed that Robert Pattinson is part of Tenet, and that's why he knows more than he lets on. And there are all these people working for Priya, Dimple Kapadia in Tenet, and blah blah blah. They find him being frozen, have hypothermia or whatever, and then they put them into the shipping container, which has to go to Oslo, because that's where they have to go to the vault. Now it just becomes a waiting game. But even in this, it's not just it doesn't happen like okay, now we just have to wait 7 days, we're in the container now, and then cut to 7 days later. Throughout the sequence, they are having proper, like, philosophical almost conversations
Yes.
about the implications of this, about what the grandfather paradox is, about what the logic of the movie is so far, and
So
how it is basically going to work, and what is going to happen basically.
so here's the thing. Okay, so this movie plays with certain philosophical concepts and obviously roots like takes its roots from science, right? And
Mm.
when you think as a normal audience goer, right, as a normal audience, तू movie देख रहा है, तू सोच रहा है कि like why wouldn't certain those inverted characters act in a different way so that the things which happened didn't happen, so that things happen in a different way? Or you might be thinking that like in this highway sequence ki, where the protagonist asks Robert Pattinson ki, listen bro, मैं वापस जा रहा है because Sator threatened to kill Cat in the past, like in his
Mm.
past, which is his
Mm.
present now. Fucking Endgame helped me understand this movie also. An Avengers movie helped me understand a Nolan movie more.
Nolan movie, what the fuck?
This is the
We
biggest
live in an
reversal of
alternate.
2020.
Yes.
So, yeah, so you can actually apply the endgame logic and understand a lot of it, that changing the past doesn't change your future, because your present, which is your perspective past, is
Mm.
objectively your future, because that thing has
Correct.
already happened. That's the logic we're playing with it. And if you don't understand this,
It's
Pancho,
just yeah, it's just different explanations
hmm,
leading to the same point. In
yeah,
Endgame, it was when you make a change, it opens an alternate reality, and that is different from your reality, obviously, because that
hmm,
change had not happened in your past.
yeah,
Here, it is more described in the end,
hmm.
where we will get to the end
I mean, we
when we.
can start talking thoda thoda. This, I mean, people have seen
No,
the
it's
movie
okay.
at this point.
I think let's just go through it and give our opinions on each scene, and we can
Huh,
just review the movie that way.
yeah.
Okay. So now they have all these conversations about the grandfather paradox, about more uh, paradoxical discussions,
Hmm.
more complicated discussions
Also,
about
like
the timelines and
the protagonist does ask certain questions that the audience might have in their own mind. Ki, like, doesn't
exactly.
this, like, he asked this key question, ki, doesn't this reversing of time mean that we have already prevented the bad things, like mean we have already saved the world because we are here
Yeah.
and we are going back in time? So doesn't this mean this has already happened, right? He poses the quintessential time loop question, and Robert
Hmm.
Pattinson answers back perfectly in the most scientific explanation ki, like, optimistically yes, but we as observers in our own frame of reference can't view the effect. We
Correct.
can't know for certain, so we have to act as if like that this has not happened, we, like, the world will actually burn and all, and we have
And
to save
then
the world.
Dimple Kapadia says towards the third act, ki ignorance is our ammunition,
Yes, like the fact that you
which is
don't
basically
know,
implying here.
yeah, the fact that you don't know whether you acting in certain ways would have changed the past or will change the future, that is a boon. That is a
Yeah.
boon as for you as part of this organization of Tenet. That is the Tenet's entire, you can say, like, their advantage or their biggest ammunition, as they say in the movie itself, is like the fact that we don't know.
Yeah,
It's frustrating.
yeah. The way Tenet works is basically ki they go into a situation,
Mm.
find out whatever they can, and then as inverse people, they go into a situation,
That's
find out
Sator
whatever they
though. Like
can, and
that's
then
Sator's whole move that a Tenet later gets inspired by. Ki, let's do the same
huh,
thing
yeah,
that they
yeah,
are
yeah,
doing,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so the
Basically
way.
they go in as inverse, find out whatever they can, find out what's gonna happen.
Hmm.
With that knowledge, go in proper forward time, and just knowing the outcome or knowing what to do and how to navigate through this, they accomplish whatever they have to.
Hmm.
So now this movie is so fucking good. So now they reach Oslo, and now they have to go into the hangar, into the art vault, to come back to normal present time, because all this time they have been inversed, right? So which is, and also another thing we forgot to mention, because ज्यादा ही चीजें रहे इस मूवी में, एक बार में नहीं हो सकता.
नहीं हो सकता.
So okay. The scientist also says that you have to wear bodysuits and oxygen masks and all, because you can't physically come into contact with your present self, else it means quote unquote annihilation. And there are
It's
physical
the
concepts related to that.
Yeah, it's the same logic of like the particle and the matter and antimatter coming together would
Correct,
like
correct.
it would cease to exist. The whole thing, like it would, you can't really physically define it. Like as an audience member, you may ask, "क्या होगा? Explosion होगा कि क्या होगा?" Like
Yeah.
technically, that explosion would be
Physically,
enough.
according to the laws of physics,
Yes,
or at least theoretical, because this entire movie is based on theoretical
yes,
science. Um, Theoretically, space matter itself would cease to exist. It
yeah.
just it just would become nothingness.
Hmm.
So basically, that's why you can't. So protagonist knows that he has to go through the vault. Um, so he wears the bodysuit, and it turns out to be that guy who in the beginning fights protagonist and is chased by Robert Pattinson. And
And
we find out that
escapes.
Robert Pattinson chases him down, looks at him in the mask, and that's why he's like, oh, this is that guy, so he must not be shot now, which is why he goes to protagonist who has this
The
guy at gunshot,
inverted.
and he's like, Sun, he says, shoot mat kar, but like, I can't tell you that this is you, okay bro,
Yes.
just trust me. And
Oh
that
God.
action scene, okay, from forward protagonist perspective, it seems like that guy, like forward protagonist is just countering everything and
Yeah.
inverse protagonist is hitting. And then from inverse protagonist perspective, it is also the same. How
And it's a
did they
very
craft an action scene so geniusly?
and the way, because they set it up in the in the earlier scene, right? Keep like it's an intuitive thing. Like when you interact with these
Yeah.
objects and people, almost everything you do becomes an act of intuition. So in the first time we had seen, the first time they fought, like when we were seeing it from the forward protagonist perspective, he's fighting this inverted guy, and obviously things are happening in reverse. Like the gun is coming back from the ground to this guy's hand, and the mirrors are getting unshot and all that.
Hmm.
And there's a small like beat in that action sequence where uh, the protagonist throws the inverted antagonist in the ground the first time we were watching this, and the guy क्या बोलते हैं, walk like crawls back to his gun. ठीक है. And at the
Yes.
same time we see the protagonist being pushed back.
Pushed back.
It's as if he got an invisible kick.
Yeah,
ठीक है.
exactly.
Except when you watch it this time, obviously the action makes more sense that the
He's
gun was thrown
crawling
from his hand,
towards,
the
yeah,
protagonist.
inverse is crawling towards the gun,
Hmm,
and forward is sort of chasing him.
yes. So, so that's why the first time you watch it, it feels like he got an invisible kick, like someone
Yeah.
invisibly like grabbed both of them and like
And this
got
this
them apart.
again, this is again explained by the ending, which we will the conversation which Pattinson and protagonist have at the end.
Hmm.
Uh and we will get to that. So this action scene was just fucking
Ah,
mind blowing. My god. So inverse protagonist
forget
now.
it's like forget even before we get to the action scene, when like they're wearing masks and all, they're going they're going through the runway and getting to the to outside the vault wala room, right? Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson, Elizabeth on the stretcher, and this
Hmm.
guy protagonist. There's nothing happening on screen really. Like technically speaking, everyone except them are moving in reverse. So like the firemen are not putting down the fire. In fact,
Yeah,
like
the water is turning off their hose and they're moving backwards and
yes,
stuff like that.
but just a simple thing. It's just a tracking shot. The camera is just tracking these people. They're just walking across the scene, but the scene is unfolding in reverse. So like, पंचो ये
Yeah.
शूट कैसे किया? ये मतलब क्या किया इन्होंने?
Yeah, that, oh man, we will get to that once
Fuck.
we recount the plot. अभी तक बेंचो plot recount ही चल रहा है.
Let's go through it. Quick.
So
करते हैं.
yeah. So protagonist and everyone, they come to normal time. And fuck, we forgot to mention another thing. In the highway chase, forward protagonist gets some sort of radio transmission,
Hmm.
and he's like, it's basically gibberish, and he's like, I can't understand it. This is not like Ukrainian or whatever. And
Hmm.
Pattinson is like, it's not Ukrainian, it's reversed. As so when protagonist gets inversed and he goes into the car and he is on the highway,
And he has
the
put a
transmission basically says he's put
yeah,
a voice recorder,
voice recorder in the case.
which is
So
recording in inverse.
in inverse. And he's
So
hearing Sator
and
talking to his men ki like
yeah, and
the
he's
plutonium is not in the case, chase them down, basically.
yeah,
And
yeah,
if you watch it the
and he
second time,
mentions
you'll hear
something
the
called
sentence.
exactly. You hear the he mentions something called the algorithm.
Yes.
Now it is time to find out what the algorithm is. So protagonist goes to Dimple Kapadia, and it's basically the person in the future who invented this technology. She describes as the Oppenheimer of the time, but
Hmm.
instead of Oppenheimer, was like really haunted by his by what he created, and he's like, I've become death and blah blah blah. This inventor who created this technology, she thought that the best place to hide it is the past. She makes a sort of the way it's explained in the movie, she makes a physical version of the formula, which means no electronic, no paper, it can't be replicated anywhere. She splits it into 9 parts and she hides it all over the past.
Hmm.
Sator wants to get the algorithm. Um,
The
for
algorithm
his
is
purposes, we will get into those
yeah.
later also.
And at this point, we learn from Dimple Kapadia that Sator just got all 9 parts. Like he just got handed all 9 parts by,
Yes.
because up till this point he had the rest of the 8 parts off screen throughout his whole life. He had like his
Yeah, this
life.
this is what his life had been leading up to.
Yeah.
That's what he's been doing all his life.
Yeah. So at this point, from the protagonist's perspective, who is in reverse time, like now he's back in forward time, but they're in the past. They're like
He's
back to a
back in
week.
forward time.
He's back in
Back to
forward time.
the future.
Nolan was like, shit यार वो copyright हो
No,
गया
no.
वो ना can't use it.
Screw you, Zemeckis.
Okay.
So he finds out that this is the algorithm, and what Sator is basically planning is he has a dead man switch, which basically the algorithm sort of gets activated. We won't get into like how it gets and blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Where basically this technology is going to inverse the environment. Up tak it was applied to objects and humans. This time, what Sator's plan is to reverse the environment. And if the environment is reversed, everything ceases to exist. Obviously.
Duh.
Yeah. So everything will cease to exist, and that is Sator's plan. Again, we'll get to why the last like fucking 20 minutes of this movie just are so satisfying.
We're getting there. So now
Yeah,
we're setting
we'll
up the
get there. So
climax, right?
now he must be, yeah. So now he's found out that the algorithm gets activated when Sator dies. And Sator gets to choose the time and place of his death because he's dying due to cancer anyway. Most original plot point to kill off someone. Fucking cancer ho gaya, wo marne wala hai abhi. So Sator gets to choose the time and place of death. And he's gonna activate it because the algorithm is somewhere in where was it? Russia?
Stars 12, not
Stars 12.
Russia, but
Some
northern
European
Siberia.
That is gonna get activated there, and now Tenet must stop must get that weapon out of the activation zone, sort of, in simple language, and Cat must stop Sator from killing himself till they
Yes.
can secure the thing and get it out of the activation zone.
Hmm.
Oh god, there is too much mindfuck to go
Okay, no,
over.
I
Bay
can
in
I
this
can
20
explain
minutes.
well.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, right? Their goal is that since they know they're going back in time and the protagonist has figured out where the algorithm is going to be kept, because earlier in the movie he had been told by Michael Caine's character, also called Michael in the movie, that that Sator recently emerged when there was a big explosion in that Siberian area in Stars 12. and it was the same day as the opera siege. ठीक है.
Yeah.
So now he knows that now that they're going back in time, that is where he's gonna hide the algorithm and do this explosion so that it gets buried and no one will be able to find it. At the same time, he will kill himself. So A, no one can find the algorithm, and B, the algorithm can activate in peace, essentially.
Correct.
Right. So
So the reason Sator goes, so the now Sator chooses the last like happy moment in his life because him and his wife have been very estranged, and obviously he's a fucking monster.
yes.
So Cat had in a previous scene explained ki this was the last happy moment in our lives and whatever, and turns out to be important because that's the moment Sator goes back to experience one last time before he can die. So Cat knows and entirety of Tenet knows कि ये चूते उधर ही मिलने वाला है. So Cat goes back to that moment as well to try and stop him from killing himself while these people are securing the algorithm. Now, Tenet will be basically split in two parts. Like I said, they half of them go reverse to find out what will happen.
Here's another small thing that I noticed the second time I watched it. ठीक है. Because from Cat's perspective, ठीक है, watch it from her chronological perspective. ठीक है. She went on a holiday with her son and and Sator. ठीक है. She had an argument with Sator where Sator suggested कि I'll let you go if you let the son stay with me, basically. Right? If you let your son stay with me, I'll let you go. Tu jo ichha kar, I'll give you freedom. That's what kind of strained their relationship even more.
Yeah.
And like that's what happened. But at this point, we know that Sator was not the forward Sator. It was this Sator in the second half of the movie.
Inversed and come back.
Yeah. So now this thing, the movie, like it kind of glosses over, so you might be confused. But at that point, during that holiday vacation thing, the forward Sator, ठीक है, the forward Sator was at the opera siege. We just didn't see him on screen.
Yeah. Right.
He was the one who had staged that whole क्या बोलते हैं, terrorist thing, so that he would get that object. We just didn't see him on screen. We just didn't see him orchestrating the thing.
So this
which is another amazing thing, because that whole argument is the reason why Cat and Sator's relationship got so estranged, right? However, that Cat did not know this is a reverse Sator. So later, off screen, when she would have met the forward Sator, she would have any conversation that would have happened with them.
Angry and shit, and Sator, because of his ego only. Yes. Nolan, kya genius hai yaar. Sator, because of his ego only, would have been angry also, and would have strained their relationship further, and it is all a loop. Okay, so now it is revealed what Sator's actual motivations are. Abhi tak it was basically ki he is basically an egotistical monster, and he's like, if I can't live, no one should get to live. But Sator reveals ki yeah, I mean that is also part of it. But he then reveals, while John David Washington, the protagonist, काफी time हो गया उसका नाम नहीं बोला. John David Washington, the protagonist, is sort of at the final moments of securing the algorithm. What happens in the action scene is not really integral to the plot, but because there's a lot of forward backward going on, please watch it. Amazing scene also.
I can concisely explain it. So what's happening is, John David Washington, the protagonist, who has now inverted. Take it. Who is now inverted. Him and the rest of Tenet don't know exactly where the explosion had occurred. They don't know exactly where the algorithm was kept. So they do what Sator has been doing throughout his whole life. They do a temporal pincer movement. So a pincer movement is like, you've seen it in movies and all a lot of times. A normal pincer movement is when a team divides itself into two and they attack the enemy from two different sides. So it's like a crab, and pincers, that's where it comes from. ठीक है. A temporal pincer movement is the same logic कि like two teams dividing themselves and attack, completing an objective from different directions, but not different directions in space, different directions in time. So what they do, what Tenet does, is applies that logic. They divide themselves into two teams. ठीक है. Not the same people, different people. They divide themselves into two teams. One team stays inverted, one team stays forward. ठीक है, forwarded. I don't know what the word is. One team stays normal.
Forwarded.
It's forwarded to you. See, please
Normal.
mail me.
Just say normal.
But from our perspective, the reverse people are normal. So it's not
No,
correct.
we're experiencing both
At the
moving
same
forward
time.
in their own personal timelines.
Yes.
But
In
Red,
any
because
case.
we are following John
Huh.
David Washington, the protagonist, who is forward the entire time. So aren't we also in forward?
Yeah, so fine. So John
Yeah.
David Washington stays on the team who is forward, ठीक है, in quotes.
Yeah.
And the other team where Robert Pattinson takes part in are inverted. So from each of their perspective, they have supposedly achieved their goal. ठीक है, when they're on the battlefield.
The blue team, which is the inverse team, Robert Pattinson ka, is supposed to find out where it is exactly and sort of create a distraction. And the red team, now knowing this information ki where it is, they are supposed to go and retrieve it.
Yes. And
But
since
not the entire red team, only Aaron Taylor Johnson and John David Washington, the protagonist, are supposed to go and retrieve the actual algorithm while all the others work as a distraction.
Yeah. And like it's a whole thing ki like you can put like poke holes into the logic of this whole sequence easily.
You can poke
But
holes in this entire
obviously throughout the
movie,
entire movie, but this sequence especially because like
Yeah.
they go over it very fast. Ki, like we have a second team who is inverted, like from our perspective, and since
Yeah.
they'll be returning to in our direction while we are going in forward, we will eventually meet at a certain point or a certain action where we will converge both teams.
Yeah.
And that convergence is the point where we will know where the algorithm is hidden.
Correct.
ठीक है. So from the red team's perspective, the blue team has already done all that shit and they're going back. From the blue team's perspective, the red team has already done their shit and they're going back.
And they're going back.
So the point is they will converge at a certain location, specifically John David Washington, the protagonist, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, Quicksilver, in a previous Avengers movie. Ab to pura.
And Godzilla.
And Godzilla, yes, where he
When there was no
romanced
Godzilla.
Elizabeth Olsen, and there was no Godzilla.
Oh
also.
yeah, that was a little awkward. And not then, because Age of Ultron came 1 year later.
Yes.
So anyway, okay. So while John David Washington, the protagonist, is this close to like sort of getting the algorithm out of the drop zone or whatever, he gets a call from
Sator,
who is
Apna
on
Sator.
the boat at this point. Apna
Yes.
Sator.
अपना प्यारा Sator.
भाई है ना अपना मस्त. So he gets a call from Sator, who is on the boat at this point and is about to kill himself. He's just enjoying his last moments with his wife. Now it's revealed that his actual motivation was that we will achieve this, and the people in the future जिनका environment हमने ले लिया है, they will come back to rebel.
No, the kind
Something
of,
like
but here's no. So the whole reason, like John David Washington, the protagonist, asks Robert Pattinson, ki, why are the people in the future trying to kill us? Like, why are the other group of people in the future sending these things to Sator, and they essentially want Sator to succeed? ठीक है? So the world will be destroyed. Like, why? And he asked the same question to Sator in that sequence, in the final sequence. Ki, like, bro, tu kyun kar raha hai? Like, why do the people in the future want this thing to happen? And he says, because in the future, he says this amazing line, something like the rivers dried up and shit like that. He's basically saying, humans destroyed the planet. It is no longer really habitable or anything. They know they fucked up. So the only way to get back what they want or rather not get back. It's kind of the if I can't have it, no one can have it kind of logic. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just fuck it. Fuck it. That's the logic that the future people are acting on. Okay, fuck it. We'll annihilate the thing in the past, so none of the shit would have happened. Okay, you can't really question it too much. That's why we are not questioning it, because even then we
Yeah.
will get confused. But that's the logic.
Correct.
कि Earth got to a basically अभी जो हो रहा है but expanded. Earth got to a point where it's no longer habitable properly. It's not a good place to live in. So the future people figure out, पास वाले बहुत चूतिया थे, मार देते बेंचो. ठीक है.
Hmm.
That's what's happening. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
So
get back
that
to
is
it.
his actual motivation, which is revealed, which plays into the entire rest of the movie, and which is why you must rewatch it.
Yes.
Now, cat kills satyr.
Yeah. So no, let's set up the thing, right? So John David Washington, the protagonist. Fuck, rap कर रहे हैं अभी. John David
Yeah.
Washington, the protagonist, is just near the, like he has reached the point, but he's locked behind a gate, and on the other side of the gate is one of Satyr's men, who is like basically hiding the
and
algorithm,
a corpse.
and a corpse. ठीक है. And a corpse with that what do you call it, string, or on his bag, what do you call it, ornament, yeah, with a certain ornament on him, which we had previously seen at the very start in the opera siege when someone had reverse fired a bullet. ठीक है.
The bullet which was
Unfired
unfired by someone who has this sort of red string and a ring tied on their bag.
on their
And
backpack.
this corpse has the same thing. It's just
Yes.
shown for a brief moment, because then Satyr's guy comes and he's setting up the whole algorithm to be blown up or whatever.
Yeah, Satyr's guy is already there. So
Satyr's guy is there.
yeah. So now apna protagonist is locked behind the gate. There's a corpse lying on the other side of the gate, and on the other side of the gate we also have one of Satyr's men who is basically trying to hide the algorithm to dump it in. And there's a timer going on ki I'm gonna blow this place to smithereens so that no one will be
Correct.
able to find the algorithm. Also, we did not. Fine, we'll get to it later. Fine, it's fine. I was gonna mention the clock wala thing, but fine, we'll get to it later.
Yeah.
So now, Satyr's motivation is to lock the algorithm, explode the make an explosion in that area so no one will be able to find it ever, and the protagonist will die. That's his motivation. Protagonist ka thing is, I need to get this thing out of this place so that it doesn't get buried and all that shit doesn't happen. And at the same time, Cat has to kill Satyr after they have extracted the algorithm, not before it.
Yeah.
Before, if she kills him before it, the algorithm will go off and shit will
Algorithm
happen.
will go off, and yeah.
Now,
So now they achieve this in the one of the most tense moments ever.
yes.
And the editing is very much responsible for this also. We will also get to that. Very tense moment. Again, it's basically like a bomb diffuser situation. कि अच्छा timer countdown हो रहा है, 3, 2, 1, 0, and oh, we made it out alive here.
3, 2, 1,
Now.
0, 1, 2, 3.
What? Yeah. So yeah, they are successful. Cat kills Satyr. Luckily, they procure the algorithm in time, and they are kind of safe now. Now we see that Robert Pattinson had Beach May. So he was part of the blue team who was inversed. He finds a turnstile and goes forward. He becomes forward moving again, and because he sees that one of Satyr's men is setting up the algorithm or whatever, and he's like, I must warn these people कि ये सब होने वाला है, या तो मत जाओ, या तो he has to basically sort of protect them. Now this is where so they have the algorithm there, and they're like, okay, we either kill all of ourselves or we split up the algorithm and hide it wherever we can. Now this is the point where Robert Pattinson gives his piece back to John David Washington, the protagonist, and says, uh, "What, I have to go do something else?" Basically,
He asked
can't remember the
Ives.
actual
He
lines.
he asked Ives.
Ha,
Ives is
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Aaron
yeah.
Taylor Johnson. Ki
I'm the only one who can open that door.
I would have been the only one who could have opened that door in time, wouldn't I? And he's like, yeah, you're the best locksmith I know. तू ही कर सकता रहेगा. And he fucks off. Aaron Taylor
Now,
Johnson fucks off.
this conversation is also important, and honestly, it answers every question anyone could ever have about this movie. John David Washington, the protagonist, says to sort of, oh, sorry,
Try कर रहा है बेचारा
Robert
और ले ले.
Pattinson, fuck you, okay? This is complex movie, eh? And it's 3 a.m. Fucker.
It
So
is.
Robert Pattinson tells John David Washington, the protagonist, ki it was you who recruited me. Years ago for me, years from now for you.
What a great line.
As I see it, this is the end of a beautiful friendship. And John David Washington, the protagonist, is like, but for me, it's just the beginning. And they have a conversation about where basically he kind of asks him to explain it. He protagonist asks Robert Pattinson to explain how the fuck can this happen, because abhi tak to question tha hi nahi na. So he asks him, and Robert Pattinson explains that what I said is what happens happened. That is a faith in the workings of the world. So the protagonist is like, does that mean fate? Robert Pattinson says, no, reality. In a sense, echoing, I don't want to take any credit away from this movie, but in a sense, echoing Interstellar's loophole.
Yeah.
Ki this whole fifth dimensional being was meant to be.
Yeah.
It was fate or reality, whatever you want to call it. Which is why every time someone asks why couldn't they just do things differently, it was fate/reality.
It was meant to be.
It was the way the things were meant to be.
It's a it's a
Self-contained
self-contained / self-inflicted time loop where
Correct.
the events of the past have to obey the events of the future and back and forth.
And back and forth, yeah.
And there are 1, 2, 3 time loops in the movie. ठीक है. The first one is the essentially three time loops in the movie. The first one, from the protagonist's perspective, was the highway sequence. The first time he inverts himself. The second time is the Oslo sequence in the airport where he fights himself. Technically fourth. The third time is the temporal pincer movement at the climax of the movie. Yeah. And the fourth one is revealed to be this entire fucking movie.
This entire movie, which
so yeah, I think we essentially wrapped up the
I think we don't need to recount the final cool. Like bas reveal hota hai ki it was John David Washington, the protagonist's entire destiny he will basically go in the future and form Tenet, and he will train all these people, and he's the founder of Tenet basically. So now that we've wrapped up the plot of the movie so concisely, we did it, so efficiently. We were like, jaldi se kar lenge, ho jayega.
We only took
90 minutes.
We only took slightly more than half of the movie's runtime.
Half the movie.
But that is technically efficient.
So this is going to be part 1, where we basically recounted the plot of the movie, and we basically explained some things in the movie, the main logic of the movie. Part 2 will be our more thoughts and feelings on the spoilers part of the movie.
Yeah. So
and more in-depth review and analysis and opinions on the movie.
So I would highly suggest all 4 people who are listening to this 5 years from now to
two of them are us.
2 of them are us, our future versions.
Our future version.
अभी cringe कर रहा है मैं future में. But I'll tell you guys to watch the second part now, and we're gonna end this here. And like both of these videos / audio podcast episodes are gonna be up together anyway. So just treat it as one big video.
We're acting as if we have an upload schedule. Next week you will hear part 2. No, we're gonna upload it at the same time.
Yes.
So go watch part 2 after this. Um, do you
That's
want
it.
to end this? Do you want to end this part by saying hi and then we say bye at the start of the next one?
So please,
So hi guys. So yeah,
uh, thank you for
yeah,
watching.
YouTube formalities kar le tu.
Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to our OnlyFans, and we'll see you guys in the first part. Hi.